Well, hello there, friends. Welcome back to Sama Saturday. We're coming together every weekend, 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, to have a fantastic conversation with all of you about wellness, holistic, natural living with our animals, specifically with our canine friends. My name is Amanda Ree, and I'm the founder of Sama Dog. And I was just sharing here with my friends on the line that one of the things I love to do most with Sama Dog, and it really is my dharma, my purpose in this world, is to create a platform, to create an opportunity or a stage in which other practitioners and wise beings with tons of experience and beautiful big hearts can come forward and share their knowledge and their experience, their tips and guidance with all of you. Obviously, this is a free platform and can be reached by people all around the world. So I get so excited to be able to bring new information forward. And today is yet another new conversation for us. We're talking today all about senior dogs and unique care for aging animals in our lives. So whether you have an animal in your life now, because obviously they're aging, we all are. I'm a little older than I was 1 minute ago, and so are you. So we're all aging,
Well,
and so are our pups. But also many of us will take in, adopt, or inherit somehow an older dog into our lives, and learning how to care for this unique animal is pretty much one of the most rewarding things you'll ever do. But there are some great tips on that. So let me share with you first introductions of who's on the line with us today. First, Dr. Kangas is with us, Dr. Katie Kangas. She is an awesome holistic veterinarian from San Diego. She's a wealth of knowledge. She comes on Sama Dog. We're so lucky, once a month, every second Saturday, or sometimes we vary it a little. But at least once a month, she comes on Sama Dog to share with us different knowledge, different topics, and all of her wisdom behind that, and her years and years of veterinary, and especially her specialty into holistic or integrative veterinary. She has the Integrative Veterinary Care Clinic that is in Sorrento Valley here in San Diego. So you can see Dr. Katie in the flesh with your animals, or she does phone consultations in case you ever wanted to pursue that as well. And then we also have on the line, well, actually, let me pause and welcome Dr. Katie so I'm not the only one talking here.
Thank you, Amanda. And as always, it is my pleasure to be here. Thank you for creating such a platform for people like us to collaborate and share our knowledge and connect with more people with this information. And I really appreciate every opportunity that I have to connect on this forum. And this is a great topic. All of you who've put this together, thank you. Of course, as a holistic veterinarian, I see a lot of senior pets. So this is a wonderful thing for me to be able to chime in and add a little bit of value for everybody to hear. So thank you so much.
It's awesome. So generous with all of your knowledge you are, and your time. You know, it's very valuable. You're a really busy lady. And so really, I have to honor the time that you take to do this so often.
Thank you.
And we are also joined by Laura and Carla. And then who's the little white one there? Tell me again her name.
Lady Love Mountain Nugget.
No, I don't quite remember. Hello, Lady Love. She's here with us
Mountain
too.
Nugget. She's blind. She's one of a kind, and she has no bottom jaw.
Well, she obviously is living a happy life even without it. So that is one of the many things about dogs, that acceptance, right? That is so admirable.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
good teachers for us all.
Because I mean, just a side note, if one of us didn't have part of our jaw, would we be as willing to get on camera and ourselves? I mean, probably not. We'd be shy. We'd feel uncomfortable. And dogs are just like, whatever. This is who I am.
This is who I am.
It's awesome. So let me introduce the ladies here. This is Laura on the left. I think it doesn't flip the screen. So Laura has Lady Love in her lap there. Hi. And Laura is an elementary school teacher by day and a mom and a wife by day as well. And she has been in the animal rescue and welfare world for over 35 years. That is a long time, Laura. That's amazing. She founded Lionel's Legacy, a very well-known, super well-respected adoption agency here in San Diego, welfare, of animals, rescue organization in 2012 to focus on rescuing and caring for senior homeless dogs. Lionel's legacy also offers community assistance to senior pet owners through our Keeping Pets Home program, as well as advice and support to pet owners with senior dogs. So Laura will definitely, before we finish up, I'll make sure we have some time to talk about that program that allows people, obviously, the support they need sometimes to accommodate for the doggies in their loving care. So thank you, Laura, for all the work that you've done and for being here with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And Laura brought this forward for all of us to have this conversation and to put it out there, which I really appreciate her saying, can we be involved in sharing knowledge? So thank you for that. And then we have Carla Naden to her left, or on our right side of the screen, to Laura's left. Carla is the director of another fabulous, well-respected, very unique nonprofit animal rescue organization here called Animal Synergy, here in San Diego, that is. It's also known as Synergy Animal Hospice, where they believe by working together as rescues and individuals through awareness and education, we can change the world on behalf of the most vulnerable beings. Synergy's focus is geriatric, special needs, and terminally ill animals who have run out of time at animal control. Their souls are restored for whatever time remains. Oh, Carla, you already got me crying. It's only a bio. It's such beautiful, beautiful, heartfelt work. I can only imagine what your days are like caring for the animals that you do. So these are the beautiful ladies behind so much of what goes on around here in San Diego with senior care. So I would like to first kick us off by asking each of you a question. First, and each of you taking a moment to answer this, we'll start with Dr. Kangas. What do you feel is the most important thing for our viewers to keep in mind when it comes to senior dog care?
Okay. And can you hear me well?
We can.
Okay, great. So thank you. And as Amanda and some of the people who have viewed my interviews or discussions before will know, I'm always wanting to turn every topic into nutrition, and senior care is no different. And so one of the things that I would really like people to understand with caring with their senior pets is there is a common misconception that senior dogs should have a senior diet. And that's something that myself, and I think a lot of other holistic practitioners who are very keen on nutrition, we like to steer people generally away from senior diets, because typically a senior diet is going to have lower protein and lower fat, because people assume that obviously seniors are going to have less activity, so they don't need as many calories, and we don't want them to get overweight. However, a lot of senior diets are filled with a lot of fillers and indigestible fibers and things like that, and they have less nutrients. And it's really important for senior pets to get quality and good levels of protein to keep up their muscle mass and keep up their strength, because we know they get muscle atrophy and they get weaker. And if we deplete these nutrients out of their food, we, elevate the cascade of this muscle, weakness and depletion. We'll talk a little bit about canine cognitive disorder later, but fat is also another important thing to make sure that we're not skimping too much on, because fat's very important for the brain. It's very important for hormones and other processes in the body. So one of the things that I really like to encourage people to do is keep your senior pet on a high quality diet, and perhaps you need to feed them less of it, but at least the nutrients they're getting are quality nutrients, and make sure you feed them the appropriate volume for their level of exercise or metabolism. It is important to not let your senior pet get overweight, because obviously obesity is going to exacerbate any condition, including joint conditions, which is obvious, but other things too. So that would be my one quick little tidbit that I would love to share with everybody.
Mm-hmm. Super helpful. And any details, of course, we want to welcome all of our viewers. We have many people on the line. They're always so excited to see Dr. Kangas, and especially with our two special guests. Like, this is a big one for us. So we've got lots of friends on the line. We've got Linda and Janice and Jane coming in from rainy Hawaii. Oh, well, give it a couple hours. We'll clear up probably. That's a good thing about Hawaii. Tess, oh yay, Tess is here. And Rena, the beautiful being that has connected so many of us. I think we all know Rena and love her, the little angel in this town. Yes. Donna and Kelly are with us. Great. Linda says, two wonderful people here who helped Penny get to where she is today?
Mm-hmm.
So who's Penny? So ladies, please, Laura, Carla, please go ahead, answer our question. But first, tell us, who's Penny?
Well, I'm assuming it's Linda who has Penny the boxer.
I got to see Penny. Yay! Yeah.
So Penny, oh my gosh, she came into Chula Vista Shelter and she had some kind of injury to her right front leg. We had to do an extensive surgery called arthrodesis. There was a lot of recovery involved. There was some complications with healing. And after we kind of got the all clear, Linda, oh my gosh, such an amazing woman, adopted Penny and took her into her home. So, and of course, Katie.
Holly had fostered Penny, correct? And Holly brought Penny to me, and it was such a beautiful story. What a great job you guys did, and just an incredible outcome. It's just heart-filling. Thank you.
Yeah, it was wonderful. So we were so happy that Katie was involved in the healing process. So
yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So please go ahead and answer the question of what do you think, kind of kicking it off, and then we'll get into our topics that we wanted to dive deeper through today. But what do you think is just off the bat a very important thing to know about senior care?
You want to start?
Sure.
Take it away, Carla.
Senior care is as easy as you make it. If you think of it as being hard, it will be. And if you think of it as being easy, it will be. This is probably one of the most rewarding areas of animal rescue for us as our specialty. They're beautiful and rewarding, and they teach us to be better humans, and patience and love, and the appreciation and the respect we receive from them is like no other. And I would encourage people to, when they do this, get a community involved and give it 2 weeks at least. You will never regret saving a geriatric super senior companion animal. No one ever said, I wish I didn't do this. And that is one of the things that I would say about them is one of the most rewarding. They are our teachers.
Yeah. Beautiful. I would actually agree with Carla. It's really about being patient and take the time to slow down as they slow down and enjoy those beautiful moments that they enjoy. And as you do, you start to learn so much about life yourself, because we are moving at the speed of light. And, sometimes we don't slow down enough to smell the roses. So do that. Take that moment with them. And, there are going to be moments of frustration. And so take deep breaths, slow down, take a step back, like Carla said, have a community of people that you can reach out to and contact when you're feeling frustrated, or you don't have answers, or you're wondering, how do I deal with this? So patience, communication, I think, is key when you're dealing with an aging pet.
Ask around. Don't be hesitant. People are full of love, and they will share this love. And it makes it all so much easier, and actually makes it fun. You can share the quirky stories, because they're all a little weird. That's how it is. And case in point, Lady Love Mountain Nugget. Ta-da! So funny. So bizarre. So amazing. It's a privilege and an honor to be able to care for these animals. It is also not forever. And remember that. So savor it and love it. And we can help you with medical. Contact us. Contact us.
It's fantastic, because I just imagine, as you're talking, how it would feel to be that dog that either has been kept throughout its entire life and not turned away when it got older and replaced with a puppy or whatever, so many people do, or a dog that's brought into your home and into your heart at that age. Like, just imagine, put yourself in their paws, how that would feel. I mean, extraordinary, to have that kind of care, especially in a time of such need. So thank you for encouraging that, first and foremost, for anybody that might be a little on the fence or a little reluctant to do such a thing.
And I would say one more thing. They would never even entertain the idea of giving up on us. So let's not give up on them ever.
Beautiful.
Yes.
So true.
And I really appreciate the perspectives of both of you. I often, on a daily basis, relay to clients or people that I interact with that animals are our greatest teachers. And it was wonderful to hear your words put that into such eloquent perception for everybody. So thank you for doing that. I wholeheartedly agree.
My pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted to get into a few topics, specific topics that are some of the more common, of course, when dealing with senior or aging animals in our lives. So first, let's touch on blindness, and I'll turn it over, maybe first to Carla and Laura, and then over to Dr. Kangas to, of course, contribute to that conversation. Tell us what it's about, what we should look out for. What are the signs that the site is even degrading in the first place?
Want to take it away?
Yeah, sure. So, obviously in senior dog rescue, it's something that we both see a lot and deal with a lot. As especially, having fosters, families that we're kind of supporting in the process who are taking animals into their homes. We are kind of a network of people working together. And so like I said before, it's communication is really, really important. And so when you have issues like the blindness either come on quickly or sometimes it develops over time, you start to see some of those changes. And I'm sure Katie can talk to this more, but, starting to bump into things or, you're right in front of them and they don't really quite see you, or they have issues with depth perception where like they might be going up or down steps and you notice that they just can't quite judge it like they used to. And so as you start to see those kind of things happen, it's frustrating for your pets. And as the pet parents, we kind of feel real bad and feel sorry for them. And it's kind of sometimes hard to watch them go through that. And so it's really important as we are their teachers in that moment, that we are calm and patient and we take moments to guide them as we see that their vision is starting to change and they're having some challenges. You want to add anything to that?
Yeah, they're incredible techniques. One, remember, they're so resilient and they might be a little hesitant. There's a 2-week mark that I always say, give everything a 2-week mark. And 3 of the techniques: smell, tangibility, and talk. So every part of your house, and it can be cute, can have runners and different type of surfaces on the bottom of on your floor. And smells. Smells are great. Most animals have a great sense of smell, whether they're blind and deaf. So diffusers and incense and candles and different rooms they can associate that with. They really are so resilient. And they have like this sonar that they adjust to. And then feeling sorry for them really is an injustice, because when you pity something and you feel bad, it does not help them. So you embrace it. You put the fear aside. You can be scared later. But at the beginning, you got to be there for them. But I would definitely say the surfaces, the smell, the speaking, it really makes them comfortable. And then you realize they don't care. They don't. She adjusted. She was a pretty hesitant dog a week or two, and then she didn't care. It's us. We tend to anthropomorphize. But the blind dogs, they get around great. You would be amazed. And they tend to get on tables and chairs. And we have to not fear it. And then we call our community. We're like, what do we do? And Laura and I can help them. And so many other special needs and super senior animal rescues are popping up all around. So the community is growing. But blind dogs, you gotta have mad respect for them. But definitely the flooring, the smells, every room, it's easier for them to associate with them. Oftentimes at the beginning, don't move the furniture around. That's a big thing. Yeah. They acclimate to that. And then you can kind of move it around. They don't care. Anything else?
No, cover it. That was good.
Well, thank you.
It was great. Is Amanda still there? Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you. Great.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I guess I will go ahead and just add a small bit. I appreciate and, really respect all the comments that both of you just gave. I mean, that was spot on, and you actually know more about the behavior aspects of it than I do. So I think that was so well said. And I love the idea of using the scents. And of course, I'm very into essential oils and flower essence sprays and all that kind of stuff. So not only could that be used for perhaps some guidance, but also for some support with any stressors. And I love how Carla said, don't feel sorry for them.
Mm-hmm.
That is such a key, emotional and energetic component that is absolutely felt by the animal. And a lot of times, I think we don't give them credit for how much they can feel and sense. And so I think that's a huge thing, is to provide them our support without like pity, because that doesn't help. I totally agree with so many situations, not just this one, but I think very, very well said. And that's why I think animals are such good teachers to us, because they teach us to be in the present and not to, pity and be stressed, and just go with what you have and make the best of it. And so us supporting them in that best way is just going to be so beneficial. So from the medical side, I mean, we're talking about blindness. If they're already blind, just supporting them. If they have eyes that are still painful, that could be dealt with. Glaucoma is one of the most common reasons for blindness, and that is a painful, issue usually. So some dogs will have surgery called enucleation, where the eye is actually removed. Another common cause of blindness is going to be cataract. But just to briefly clear up perhaps a misconception a little bit, is that there's a normal aging change in all dogs where their eyes, the lens in the eye will get cloudy as they age. And that's not a true cataract when it's just like hazy in there. That's actually a normal aging change that occurs in the lens, and they will lose a little depth perception. They'll lose some night vision, but they can generally still see, and it happens slowly. So most dogs adapt pretty well to that. They might, have a little issues at night or with stairs or steps, just seeing them, quite as well with the depth. But true cataract is where the lens completely solidifies and it's really white. There is cataract surgery available, of course, with medicine being so advanced as it is now in veterinary medicine, just as human medicine. But a lot of people may not be able to afford cataract surgery, so it may not be an option for every pet. And as Laura and Carla mentioned, dogs do so well as long as they're supported well, physically and, emotionally. So great comments, everybody. And if there's anything else I can contribute, let me know. But that would be kind of a few things from my angle.
That's great, Dr. Kangas. And what I heard all of you saying is really be able to speak to your animal through the other senses. This sense of sight is not the only sense. Luckily, we have at least 4. There's the intuitive sense. One could say 5 other senses. And so give them the chance to activate and even work with those, which can be stimulating for them and engaging and fun, and create some joy even more in their life. So that's a great way to do it with those anchor points like you've all spoken about.
And if I could just add one more thing to this is sometimes when we get people who call us and they are not sure how to handle this, because it's very for us, we deal with this all the time, right? It's kind of natural. We know what to do, but not everybody does. And that, like Carla said, that first 2 weeks is very stressful for people as they're watching their own pets go through these changes. And we get a lot of calls where people are like, I don't think that I can do this anymore. I might need to surrender, my dog, or maybe it's time for euthanasia. And we just say that like that 2-week period is really critical for giving your pets time to acclimate to these changes and then helping them. So if we can really encourage people to do that, and once they get through like that 2-3 week mark, it's like you're on the other side and you're like, oh, okay, we can do this.
Yeah, and this is amazing and rewarding and like, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's great. So I want to welcome some of our guests that have jumped on. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. We're talking about our senior pet care today and unique ways that we can care for them. A brief reintroduction. This is Dr. Katie Kangas, who's with us once a month, a fabulous holistic veterinarian. We also have Laura and Carla here, who represent Lionel's Legacy and Synergy Dog Rescue, local senior dog rescues in San Diego, and just amazing beings in their service to the world and the animals of this area and beyond. So I want to thank all of you for joining us, and do let us know that you're here. Just give us a thumbs up or a heart, or better yet, even share this out if you're willing. This is the way that the word spreads. And if you have people in your community that also have dogs, obviously they're also aging as well. So this really is a conversation for anyone who has an animal companion. So I did want to mention that Rena had said here that Muffin's Halo for blind dogs, if they are having a hard time adjusting, is one of the tools.
Thank you.
Yes. Thanks, Rena.
Nice input, Rena. Yeah. So that would provide them a little barrier so that if they can navigate their way around by feeling and, without bumping their body parts into things. So that's a great tool.
And sometimes you can just use those temporarily too as they're adjusting. And then once they've mapped, their environment, you can start taking that off too.
Yeah.
And you'll find that they are like, I got this, Mom.
Yeah. I don't mean this, but I love it.
That's awesome. And if anyone's wondering the name, it's just down below, Muffin's Halo. So you can see it in the comments down below there and check it out if you'd like to. Hi, Lola. Lola's here with Radar. So moving into our next question then, our next topic really is around incontinence. We know that that's part of an aging dog or human's life. Yet I do notice with my own interactions with my clients and the dogs that we care for, that's the area that people get all disturbed and upset about, because who likes poop and pee all over their house? Nobody does. So give us some guidance on how to deal with this best. So let's start with the girls, Laura and Carla.
Well, first and foremost, make sure you get everything checked out with your vet and there's no medical conditions that are contributing to the incontinence. Sometimes it's just age related, but sometimes there could be something else going on. So we always say, make sure you go speak with your vet. And then, we have lots of tools that we use for this kind of stuff, because like you said, who loves, schlepping, cleaning up pee and poop every day? I mean, it's,
we do.
Well, we do it, but do we love it? We do. But we love our pets, so we're going to do it, right? Yeah. So, but at the same time, we don't want to go mad doing it. So we're like, okay, let's make things sort of easy for ourselves at the same time, right?
Should we show them a tool?
All right, 1, 2, 3. Oh wait, you're already ready.
I'm ready. It's okay.
These little guys right here.
Belly bands.
Belly bands.
Magic. Absolutely magic. And then so you can recycle them. They're not wasteful. And then you can use a pad on the inside, so then you don't have to wash these all the time. And then you can get recycled versions of all of these.
And of course, you don't want to leave these on for too long. It's the same idea as, if you have children and you're putting diapers on children, you don't have to leave one on all day long because of infection, urine scald, all this kind of. So these are kind of things that you would use temporarily, or like, if your pet's in the home with you and, you just need to, kind of temporarily put this on so that you're not following your pet around the house cleaning up pee, right? And then one of the other tools that we use a lot too is, sectioning off your home when you, like, say you go to work or you're just hanging out at the house, and you can section specific areas in your home so that you kind of have like a potty zone. And we use a lot of potty pads. Now, of course, we're into the environment, so we prefer.
You get recycled ones.
We like the reusable ones that you wash versus the ones that you purchase and throw away. And these are great because you can just put them down in a select area, and you can get the ones with that have prints for animals on them, or you can even buy human grade ones. That's fine. They all work the same. And this way you just literally pick it up and you toss it in the washer. And that alleviates a lot of stress for us too, is the human factor involved in the cleaning process. So,
and we live in a beautiful environment, so outside is key when we hang out and observe them. Also, you can create a smaller area, like a bathroom with a baby gate. So when you go outside, or I mean, if you're going like on a trip or going outside to go get groceries or whatnot, and venture out, this is a really nice way because it makes easy cleaning. But again, it's only as hard as you make it. It's just part of life. It is. People, your companion animals. And yes, we always say get checked out by a veterinarian first, because this might actually not be a problem, but it's okay. And you can have little diapers. Get diapers actually from like a store, and you can have a little hole in it for a tail. This for female dogs.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but this probably answers the question of Janice here. What can you use for female?
Yeah, so there are, reusable ones too for female dogs, but like Carla said, you can get regular baby diapers. So they do sell, okay, we might be saying things that some of the dog companies don't love to hear from us, but we're always looking for the cheaper version.
Yeah, affordable. So it's encouraging for people not to be deterred, like I can't afford it. Yes, you can.
Yeah, so you can get regular baby diapers and cut a hole in it for the tail. It's just a little bit more affordable option. Or they also have reusable ones that you like throw them in the wash and use them again. So
I do have that.
But yeah, so I mean, with incontinence too, this is something that is frustrating and hard for people, especially if they're not used to it. Again, we are used to it. So it's something that you really have to prepare yourself for and know, like, this is going to be my life. I went from having a companion animal, so maybe you had your pet from a young age and now it's getting older, and your role is changing. So yes, your dog is still your companion, but you are now a caretaker. So being kind of aware of that change of your role with your pet is really, really important. And that kind of helps alleviate a lot of the stress and the frustration involved in it.
I would also remind people for super seniors, geriatric, and special needs that this is also not forever. It's not. So sometimes you can just embrace it, respect it, and be like, you pee. We all pee. Now you just pee all the time.
That's so true.
Make it fun. If you don't love it, but you can make it fun. And you're like, another day. And like, I'll call Laura, be like, you have no idea how much pee I just cleaned up. I'm okay with that because I invested. I will never give up on these companion animals. Ever. They would never give up on us.
I love it. You turn it into a bragging.
They had the opportunity. So that's okay.
It's just kind of reevaluating, your life too, because we, like I said before, we're so busy, right? So we're like, I don't have time for this. I can't add this to my life. Well, if you can make time for other things in your life, like, going out to dinner with your friends or whatever, this is just something that when your pet's aging, you figure out a way to make time for it, and it just becomes a part of your life. And you go, you know what? Okay, I love my pet. This is what I'm going to do for them.
And know that karma is a beautiful thing. When we care for anyone, whether they're a stranger or a beloved companion in our life, there's a good energy around that of service, a seva, as they say in the yoga tradition, and that will come back to you. Wait until we need that in our lives.
Right.
That's what I was saying.
So Dr. Kangas, why don't you go ahead now and share with us on incontinence as the topic. What are your suggestions or guidance?
Well, the ladies took care of all the tips and suggestions so well. Thank you. And you definitely did that better than I could have. Speaking from the medical angle, and I sure appreciate, both of your comments to, direct everyone to a veterinarian just to rule out anything that could be treatable or that we should be aware of to address that could be lending to the incontinence issue. And I would say, just to throw out there, probably the three most common things that medically could be causing that, other than the aging and kind of weakening to the nerves and tissues back there, which is generally what the older age, incontinence is occurring from. But other medical issues that we'd want to rule out would be things like Cushing's disease, or urinary tract infection, or perhaps kidney disease. And I would say one of the things that people could really look for to be a good tip as to whether those are more likely is the doggy drinking more water? If they're drinking excessive amounts of water, then that's generally going to indicate that there's a disease issue going on that is likely treatable, or at least manageable, that we should address. If they're not drinking a ton of extra water, but they're incontinent, then that's more likely to be aging change. But still, get checked out with blood work and urinalysis is obviously the first place to start. Aging changes, as I said, usually occur from some weakening of the nerves and the tissues in the hind end over the lumbar sacral spine and the pelvis area. And that is a very common aging thing. And so you can end up with urinary incontinence or bowel incontinence. There are conventional medications that can help, generally more with urinary incontinence, unless you're treating the things that might add to some more strength or pain relief in the back that may add to improvement with incontinence from either bowel or urinary. There are definitely holistic, of course, I would love to use natural things first, and natural support through nutrition and herbs. And I have a lot of tools or products that can be very useful. And sometimes actually with food medicine, standard process as an example, makes hormonal support, food tablets that can actually help, because sometimes it's the weakening of the muscles that control the sphincter, like the urethral sphincter. And hormones can be very involved in that too, not just the nerves and the tissue function. So there are some things we can do to support them there. There's Chinese herbal formulas that are made, or that are indicated specifically for this, or for patterns that cause this. And then finally, of course, as a holistic vet who performs acupuncture and chiropractic and other modalities like that, definitely we can see some improvement, because you can get some more strength to the hind end with these types of treatments, and that can affect everything in the body, but definitely the continence and bowel and bladder control. Chiropractic can be a huge asset. And at my practice, we, of course, have a phenomenal chiropractor that works with us, but that's a great modality I would encourage people to seek out. And then finally, actually, massage therapy can be a wonderful thing too. That's just going to increase blood flow and, conduction through the tissues back there, and help disperse, any tension and things that may add to problems in the hind end. So all of those tactics, I would say, would be wonderful things to add if possible.
Very helpful, and great suggestions, and so much of it that we can do ourselves. What I'm hearing all of you say, like, yes, of course, we want to make sure that the medical side is all well. And then, think of if it was you again, and kind of what you would need or want, or how your body might feel. Ask them, and you might get some real intuition also of what would be most suitable for them, whether it's chiropractic or some massage, or, a warm fuzzy blanket that just puts them at ease, and reduces some of the pain, or whatever it might be. We have a couple funny comments here I'll share. So Susie says, having a great pet carpet cleaner is key. Well, so if you have a senior dog, that's always good. And I should put that resource on my website. And then Donna says, some of us pee all the time as well. So no need to judge.
Right?
That's great.
One last thing. Right, fine. There's so many great pet sitters too. So if you're gone for 8 hours a day, get somebody to come in and take your pet out. I have to do it. As a teacher, I'm gone. And so we have people that will come in and take the dogs out to go potty. And of course they want to just run right back in and go to bed, but they get that break. So
there's also natural ways, like pee be gone. I would definitely look it up. It's all natural. The enzymes, they get rid of the smell if that's any problem for you. But use it. They have different like scents, like lavender and vanilla. So highly recommended.
And it's worth just mentioning, which I wanted to share for those that live in the San Diego area, as we over here at Sama Dog House, we have a B&B, bed and breakfast for dogs, and we love taking care of the senior dogs. We have several that come here on a regular basis, and a couple of them in particular, like very specific needs and lots of medicines, or in the one case, of course, it's a holistic she does, but still there's like 25 different things that the dog gets every day. And I love doing that and caring for them. So if you're looking for some place to care for them while you're gone, that's an option too. And then wherever you are listening from, there likely is some in-home boarding. If you can sniff around, ask at the pet stores. You know, I always say this, but I'll say it again, your natural pet markets, like your boutique, privately owned markets that are in your area, are an amazing resource. So whether you're looking for a dog trainer or an adoption organization or a veterinarian or home care, they likely will know the good practitioners and services in the area. So don't hesitate a moment to check in with them. So, okay, moving into our final topic that we wanted to specify within this conversation is talking about canine cognitive disorder, known as CCD, canine cognitive disorder. I think the computer's a little gurgly right now. So I'll stop talking. Hopefully the other ladies can be heard better, but whoever would like to start, please go ahead on that.
Go ahead, Carla, you want to start?
This is a fantastic book.
Remember Me.
So, yeah, Remember Me. It covers everything. I highly recommend everybody getting this if you're dealing with canine cognitive dysfunction. Sometimes it's part of life. It starts to come on. There'll be little things.
I can't hear anything. Better. No.
I know we had some issues there. I think it's okay now.
Yep, better.
Better?
Yep, good.
Great. So, canine cognitive dysfunction. It's part of life. It just is. It does not happen to all dogs. But there are symptoms and signs to be aware of: dog standing in the corner, and so many more. My theory is, do not fear this. Love them. Come up with a routine. There are symptoms like sundowners, where they wake up in the middle of the night. And one more thing, this isn't forever. So love them madly during this. Respect them. Go to the ocean. Go to calming places. Go to places that they love, you love. And it often can be sad and scary. But again, it's not a benefit to the animals at all, but definitely a routine. Engage the senses. They will become more hungry. So that can be a little, I would say, confusing, because you're like, well, my companion animal's hungry all the time. So like they're good, but there is a time when you have to respect them a little more and realize that this is part of the process. And I know Laura has a lot of other things to say about it. It's hard, but it's not impossible. But you must respect the dignity of the animal. You know, you don't want to prolong a life of suffering and no joy.
Mm-hmm. And Laura, definitely share what you'd like. And then I want to make sure that we have a little time for questions, and obviously Dr. Kangas to share as well on the topic. So what else do you think?
We have the great fortune of seeing a lot of animals come through our foster homes and our homes. And so we start to see patterns in certain aging ailments, and cognitive canine dysfunction is one of them. And I would say personally that I feel like it's one of the more challenging issues to deal with, because it's not like the incontinence or the blindness, or even say, cancer, where you have this definitive answer of like, this is what's going to happen. Some pets might circle, some might, pace and pant, some might head press in corners, some might get confused, something that they used to do before and have a routine with, they might not know anymore. And judging the quality of life for a dog with CCD is one of the more challenging things, because they do eat sometimes ravenously. And so you think, oh, they're eating well, then everything's going great. And then you kind of get used to some of their symptoms sometimes. And so what Carla's saying about, making sure your dog has dignity and quality of life is really important with CCD. There's lots of things that you can do, such as keeping routine. It's kind of the same as with the dog with blindness. You want to kind of keep things similar. You still want to enrich them. So you want to access all their senses. That'll help kind of, tire them out a little bit so that they're not up and pacing all the time. You want to be really patient. I mean, patience is the thing, and love them madly, because unfortunately, this is one of those diseases where it is an indication of their lives beginning to end, right? So you want to really kind of just make sure that you spend quality time with them and love them.
And remember not to make it about you. About them. You can kind of get super sad afterwards, but they still feel. They still are in there in a way. They're just not in there in the way that you remember them. So you still love them madly. That's what you can do. And I highly recommend looking at this book of Remember Me. You can look it up online because it gives so many tools, really, of any question you would ask, because this is a subject matter that encompasses so many things that we really could have a whole episode
probably
on this. Yeah. Loving and caring for a dog with canine cognitive dysfunction. There's so many tools out there.
There's a lot of supplements and things that you can do to kind of help alleviate some of the symptoms. So Katie, tell us about those, because I know you have a wealth of knowledge on this.
Life.
So that's one of them. Yep. And I will start out by saying, and thank you, all of your comments were so wonderful and helpful. Again, with this disorder, which is, of course, basically like dementia in humans, and dementia can have many causes, but clearly it's a degenerating of, the brain and the function of the brain cognitively. But getting your pet checked out just to make sure that there's not, because of course, liver disease and kidney disease and other things can lend to brain symptoms, because things are building up in the bloodstream that can affect the brain and things like that. So as we said before, just to rule out other disease issues that could be affecting the brain is a good primary course of action. And then after that, once we're pretty sure that it is cognitive disorder, there are a lot of things that we can do. And again, me being so passionate about nutrition, one of the first things I would love to add in here is that fat is actually the preferred source of fuel for the brain, dietary fat, good quality fat. So we're talking things like, if you're going to add some fats into the diet, coconut oil is a great thing to do on a daily basis, one of the medicinal foods I love to recommend. If your dog tolerates some of the other highly medicinal foods that offer good quality fat, are things like sardines or free-range pasture-raised eggs. Could do chicken eggs, or if your dogs are allergic to chicken, you can even find duck eggs at the farmer's market and things like that. Raw milk or raw dairy, especially fermented raw dairy like the Answers products. These are all things that can be put into your pet's diet on a daily or regular basis that are going to feed the brain and the rest of the body with wonderful energy. Fat is one of the best sources of energy for the body too, and very satiating. The brain, by the way, is 60% fat. So the brain does really, and a lot of the human experts, like the neurologist, Dr. David Perlmutter, who wrote the books Brain, talks about one of the reasons that we believe, or they believe, that a lot of humans are getting more dementia issues is because we've largely moved away from eating fats and we're eating more sugars and carbohydrates, okay? So keep that in mind with your pet as well. And then, as both Laura and Carla mentioned, the sundowner syndrome, one of the things that I have experience with is a lot of my patients who are taking CBD. CBD is a wonderful asset for many things, but Robin Lynn, I know Amanda has hosted Robin Lynn, the certified cannabis herbalist, who I know very well and refer people to now. She's reported some wonderful feedback on clients that she's worked with dogs with sundowners and how well they've responded to CBD. So that is an herb a natural plant remedy to keep in mind for this type of disorder. And then there's certainly a lot of other herbs that can be used and nutritional things that can be used to help feed the brain and support the brain. And common things that have been heard of are like ginkgo biloba is a wonderful herb that's in a lot of formulas. It may be in Senalife as well. There are some conventional medications to treat canine cognitive disorder. I wouldn't generally recommend them. I would turn to what I think is better options with the natural alternatives. There's also like mushrooms, lion's mane. A lot of people have heard of the medicinal mushrooms like reishi and cordyceps and turkey tail. They're all so beneficial. Lion's mane, though, is known to specifically help support memory and cognition. So a lot of different nutritional things that we can do and put in their food and support them. So I think that's all I wanted to add there. Anything else that anyone can think of, let me know.
Will you just explain a little bit more? You referred to Senalife. What is that?
Do you know more? I could look up it's a supplement that has, I should have looked up the ingredients before we started.
We can post it below. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a supplement that's going to contain different food items and antioxidants and things that support brain health. I don't know if you guys have a handy.
I was going to go grab it.
Okay, great. Thank you. It's not one that I carry, but it's one that I'm very aware of that I have heard good results with, good feedback with. Mm-hmm. So that is a good tool for people to know about.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Very good. Okay. Well, then.
There we go.
There it is. Let's see. Let me just focus in on that camera. There we go. Kind of can't see it. Put it a little closer to the camera itself, if you will. There we
go. Yep.
Senalife.
Nice. All right. Especially at the beginning phases.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, let me just look down at the questions here. Actually, let me go back to our regular view. And from my watch party, someone asked, Rena says, from my watch party, someone asked if dogs with cancer show cognitive changes.
Any dog can show cognitive changes, and it's likely timing of those both occurring at the same time, but certainly, biochemically or metabolically, there may be reasons that specific types of cancer are going to lend to more problems, but they're probably occurring simultaneously from different causes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well then, moving into our next or our final topic, which is an unavoidable topic and yet very important in this conversation, is when do we know it is the end? I'm sure all of you have had countless conversations with people on this subject. So what do you usually advise? Dr. Kangas, you want to go first?
Sure. A tough topic. And I generally start with advising that people know their pets best, and that it's always a very individual decision. Some people might make that decision sooner than other people, depending on the parameters that are going on for them in their lives, or how they perceive the comfort or the quality of life for their pet. There are quality of life scales that you can use, you can download, from the internet and things like that, that make it easier for people to have a tool if it's difficult for them to assess. A lot of times there's so much stress and there's so much, preconceived notions of your own that, one people's big fear is that they're going to make that call too soon and let their pet go too soon. But I think I saw in some of Amanda's notes that a day too soon can be better than a day too late. And I do have to agree with that. And I love to support people in that perception, is that I consider it one of the biggest gifts that we can give to our pets, to allow them to go with dignity and grace and calmness and peace with the people who love them the most, who they love the most, right there with them. Even though euthanasia, the act of euthanasia is a very difficult thing, it truly can be one of the most beautiful gifts that our pets can get. And how often do any humans get the gift of passing peacefully surrounded by the people you love the most? what I like to avoid for anybody, you know, my patients or any animals out there, is them going stressed. You know, you wait till the very last minute and then you're on a trip to the ER and they're surrounded by, you know, you don't even make it to the ER. They're surrounded by a lot of stress. I think quality of life up to the end is very important. And that can be a very individual assessment from family to family and pet to pet. But utilizing the tools, as Laura and Carla said, sometimes, you know, involving your community, getting some support, talking to some people who have been through this or have pets with similar, you know, issues, I think is great. One of the things I would love to comment on is something Carla has said a few times in this conversation today, which I highly respect and admire, is, Carla, you remind me of my mentor, Dr. Keith Weingart, who was my pathway into holistic medicine because I found him for my dog Osti. And at the time, my Osti was Black Lab mix, and she was about 14, and she lived to 16 with Keith's guidance, and that's what led me into my path of wanting to learn holistic medicine. But some of the words of wisdom that Dr. Keith Weingart shared with me from the get-go is when Osti would progress to, you know, doing poorly or things were going on, and I would get all emotional and get upset and cry when I take her in to see him. And he's like, whoa, 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 don't mourn her while she's still here. Mm-hmm. Enjoy her. You can mourn her later. Just like Carla said, you have time to be sad later. If you spend so much of your mental capacity and your emotional capacity, you know, being sad, crying around them, they feel that, then they're stressed. It doesn't do anybody any good. And then they feel bad. And that is taken away from their quality of life and your quality of life. So do your best to support them. Understand that this is a process that everyone's going to go through. Everyone's going to die. And it's a natural thing. And it's, of course, sad, but it's natural. And animals understand that. They understand the circle of life much better than we do. And we portray all of our, you know, much of our stress on them. And that doesn't help. So I really love your perspective on that. Is there's time for mourning later, and be present with them and support them. And one more thing is, I love to tell people or encourage people, give your pet permission to go. Okay. Because a lot of people are clinging on like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do without you. I'm going to be a mess when you're gone. And, you know, that is so stressful for them emotionally, energetically. They feel that they're so in tune. And so I think we need to lift that pressure off of them and say, we love you. We're here for you. When it's your time, please show us signs, please tell us, and then be receptive to get those signs from them, and give them permission to pass when it's their time, and give them that beautiful, they're passing on to a beautiful energetic realm. They're not leaving us completely. They're leaving us in physicality, but they are always with us. Energy never leaves. It only changes forms, right? And give them that permission to change form when they're ready, and support them all the way, and love them, love them, love them, and try and provide them a peaceful passing if at all possible. So that's my input. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Dr. Kangas, that is exactly why we love you. Like, just that there's someone that can care for our dogs that thinks that way and can advise us like that. Like, it's certainly unique and it's so important. So thank you. I had to go off camera so that I could like compose myself, because it's hard. And I just have a quick story, and then I would love the ladies to share also, is my dog Pepper, who passed away a couple years ago. He came through Wagging Dog Rescue, who we all know. The ladies went away. Oh, hopefully they'll come back. Huh. It's weird. Let me put them back in there. So anyways, I just wanted to say that with Pepper, that morning I had gotten advice to make sure I communicated to him that it was okay with me and that I was not the one holding. I meditated with him on the couch that morning, told him, shared that. I know he felt it. That afternoon, he went in for fluids and he never came back again. And so it obviously was very important for him to feel that acceptance and allowing on my side. So I just wanted to share that story to show how true that can be. So Carla and Laura, help us to kind of close up this topic of our conversation, and we'll take a few questions before we finish up.
dignity for them no matter what. And like Katie said, a day too soon rather a day too late. And you typically learn that with one of your first companion animals when they pass away. So they are our teachers. We learn from that. Also, you can do in-home euthanasia. This is a way the smells and the beauty are there. And if possible, if they're not immensely suffering, I prefer to wait. I encourage people to wait till the evening. There's something beautiful about sending them off at night, as long as they're not suffering. So that's why it's a day too soon rather a day too late. Compassion and dignity, and you will know by looking in their eyes. People say, when will I know? When will I know? You know. And if you don't know, contact us, contact your friends. We can come over, we can help you. You're not alone in this. This is one of the hardest things you will go through. And dignity, dignity, dignity. I cannot repeat that enough. They would want that for us. We have to provide that for them. And no pain. At the end, we do everything we can to relieve the pain. So many natural remedies. Laura's really familiar with that. We all are. You love them till the end, and you make sure they pass with care and love, and ideally at home when possible not. And it's okay, but you freak out later. You gotta be there for them. You gotta be calm. You gotta touch them. You gotta hold them. You gotta love them, and do all the things. Smell good, comfort. You don't have to smell good, but it's nice. But like, you know, it's beautiful. It's an honor. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
Well said.
Laura, anything that you'd like to contribute before we take some questions?
You know, I just to take yourself out of the decision making, you know, so when you're making this decision, it's not about you, it's about what you want for your loved one, right? Like if it were a human family member, what you would want to be able to provide them in the end of their life. And like Carla said, and Katie as well, it is about dignity, it's about compassion, and it's about making their lives count. And so you don't want to see them suffer, you know, you don't want to put them in that place. And there is like a vast community of people wherever you are in the world to support you with this. So if you're feeling alone in this decision, like reach out to people. We're here. Call us up on the phone. I don't care. I'm happy to take somebody's call and just offer, you know, or just listen actually, because sometimes that's what people need is they just want to, they just need to share how they're feeling about this. And, you know, if you have family members, children, you know, make sure, don't leave your kids out of this. I don't feel like you need to protect them from this, like it's going to be too painful. It's really, really important to include all the members of the family in this process. Absolutely.
So true. Donna has a cute, not cute, but sweet, heartfelt comment here, is utilizing a pet psychic and having a celebration of life. What a good idea. A party really helps and have them surrounded with their loved ones and other pets to say goodbye. And as you were just saying, Laura, and your family, your children, help everybody, other animals. I'm constantly guiding people like at that time, let the other animals have the experience too. Let them smell it. As you shared, animals get it. They know what's happening here more than we do, really. And so let them have that experience, not just have their friend never come back home again and then there's confusion.
And I would like to thank my good friend Donna for sending in that comment. And she knows she was there for Asti's celebration of life party.
Nice.
And it was one of the most beautiful events of my life. So it was wonderful. So thank you for saying that, Donna. I think it's a great idea when anyone can do that for their pet. It is a tremendous thing. Tremendous. We invited anybody who knew her and could come, and it was one of the best things ever.
There's a beautiful quote, like, death ends a life, not a relationship. Just remember that. They're not gone forever. And definitely keep your companion animals around so they can say farewell too.
Beautiful, ladies. Well, let me just see if there's any questions. There's a couple here and there. We can go back in and answer a little bit of the specifics. There was a couple about nutrition, but all of the comments are coming through with such gratification for having this conversation, for being able to receive this information, and gratitude to all of you for sharing it and loving so many animals through to the end, supporting so many humans through that process. Thank you for your love and your service. I do want to mention one thing too with Carla. I don't think she's going to promote herself like this, but the art that is behind Carla, I think is probably Carla. So she's an awesome artist, like a fine artist. And what she does, one of the many things that she does is if you send her a picture of your beloved, she will make it. I should have brought mine of Pepper because it's my greatest possession in my life. When there were fires, it was the only thing I really went to grab because I didn't really care much about anything else. But she will make a picture. She makes it slowly. You can tell out of all of these different materials. It's a very different medium that she uses, and it is a beautiful tribute to the beloved one in your life. So what she does then, so she sells that art, and then that's how she funds all the rescue work that she does. So my goodness, if there's not a good reason to buy that for a friend or yourself to have that in your home, I don't know what would be.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I watched
Amanda, will you post Carla's information for that? Okay.
Definitely. I'll post everybody's information so you can get a hold of them directly and see their sites. And of course, most importantly, please, please, please rescue a homeless, aging dog. They need you so badly. And like everybody said, you will never regret that. And it will be some effort and some time, but what better place to put that? And they will forever be your angel as well. I feel, and I'm sure you do too, you feel your animals with you in your heart and the sparkles of your eyes. I can see it in you all as you talk. So thank you. Any last words, ladies?
Do what you fear the most, and it will become your greatest asset. And these dogs will become one of the greatest things you have ever done. You will never regret this. To heal a shattered soul and provide medical is nothing you've ever experienced. And don't fear this. It's beautiful.
And you will grow yourself leaps and bounds by doing it. You will learn so much about yourself, what you're capable of, things that you thought you couldn't maybe even do.
Oh yeah.
And then you get to share those gifts with other people, and it's like watching that ripple, throwing that rock in and watching that ripple spread.
We met each other like this, and now we're like family.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's a reward.
Yep, the reward of the heart, because the heart ties people together like nothing else does. We can all go to all of our intellectual experiences and financial arrangements and business endeavors, but when we tie together through the heartstrings in this way and through love and connection, there's nothing more beautiful. So we'll wrap it up with that. Thank you all so much to all of our panelists for being here and serving and sharing your time. Thank you for all of our viewers. Thank you for your comments and your love for the animals. Obviously, if you've listened to this whole thing with us, which almost all of you have stayed on the whole time, thank you for the commitment that you share. And may you be blessed a very long time for that. So we'll look forward to seeing you all next weekend. We have another great conversation actually around specifically what we've kind of ended in here is grief. So after the passing does happen, where are the tools and the support? So we're going to be with another set of wonderful practitioners that have so much experience in this realm. So I look forward to sharing that with you next weekend, Saturday, 10 a.m. Pacific time. Thank you all so much. We wish you a wonderful weekend. Bye for now.
Thank you for having us.
Bye. And ladies, you stay here, okay, everybody?
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.